Our, well, number one, we've been doing this for over 20 years. I think probably 23 or 24 years total. I started out in the business as an accountant, just basically representing buyers. Um, and, you know, I was in that position of having people come to me with businesses they wanted to purchase. And at the time, we weren't doing visa cases, we weren't um, brokering businesses to help people find businesses. So I was in the position at the time of being the person who they were bringing deals to and saying, "Is this a good business?" Because the people they were working with on the brokerage side or on the visa side, whether they were lawyers or consultants, really didn't have the tools to assess a business and give them an idea that it was a good investment. Maybe they had a visa consultant or an attorney telling them that, hey, this can get you a visa, and maybe they had a broker saying, hey, this is something that they want to sell, and your attorney says that it's going to be able to get you a visa, but as far as qualifying that business, doing due diligence, and determining that it is actually a good business and that it's going to have that longevity that you really need in order to have a successful long-term E2 visa situation, they didn't have the tools to do that. So people were coming to me and bringing me, excuse me, cases, businesses that they were interested in purchasing, and then asking me to tell them were they good businesses. And 9 times out of 10, because those other people in the process hadn't done any of that or didn't have the capability to do that kind of preliminary qualifying, the answer was no. So many times people were coming over and over and over again with one business after another and being told, no, this isn't going to work. So over time, I decided that we needed to expand our firm to become licensed, number one, in brokerage, which we did in 2003. And the purpose of that was to no longer be in a situation where we were having to have our clients rely on other people to find them businesses that weren't qualifying, wasting that time where people were going through multiple opportunities that were never going to work in the first place. So we wanted to put ourselves in a position of, instead of just being that trusted advisor to say yes or no, we wanted to actually bring deals to the table. So we did that. And also, around the same time, maybe even a little bit sooner than that, we started doing our own E2 visa cases. And again, the feeling was that by bringing all of that expertise into one place and all of the knowledge of what was needed at every one of these steps along the way, it made for a seamless process for the client. So they weren't having to go from one advisor to another, someone who deals with brokerage, someone who deals with the visa, someone who deals with the accounting, the tax planning. We wanted to bring all that into under one roof, to where the client could get all of what they needed in one place. But I think it also makes for the likelihood of more success, because all of that knowledge is now being used at every point in the process. So, as I said earlier, when you're looking at businesses that are going to be opportunities that we might put on the short list of ones that we think you should look at, we're also thinking about, what are the visa requirements? Is this going to work? We're not going to put something on the short list if we don't think it can work. We're also looking at due diligence at that point in our mind, and we're looking at maybe all the things that have been represented by the seller on these different opportunities, and maybe there are some that we can see right there in that early preliminary stage of qualifying, based on our accountancy knowledge and experience, that these are not, we're going to have a hard time proving these figures. They're not going to get through due diligence. So I think having all of that knowledge and bringing it all to bear in one place, that's, I think, what makes us very different. And there are lots of consultants. I understand what you're saying. There are a lot of people that you look at their websites, and there are a lot of consultants and lawyers and people that say that they have a one-stop shop the way we do. But in reality, I think what you'll find in most of those cases is that it is more of a kind of consortium of different companies that are kind of using a common marketing approach. It's generally not a true one-stop shop like we are, where it's one company that has all of that knowledge. I don't, at the risk of being immodest, I don't think there's anybody in the Central Florida area for sure that has the length and the breadth of experience that we have across all of those disciplines when it comes to E2 visas.